Hello, Algebra Honors. This is our Unit 7 on polynomials study guide. So you always want to try to do this study guide first on your own. See how much you can do without looking at notes, without asking friends. If you treat it like a test, it'll help you kind of keep track of what you know and what you need to practice. So, whoopsie, let's see if I can make that be better. That seems better. Okay, so you're going to be able to use a handheld calculator on the test, but not Desmos. All right, study guide is similar to what the test is. It's not exactly the same, but it's pretty darn close. Definitely in Schoology there is extra practice, and you can use your Math-Based textbook to look for extra practice too. Okay, here's just a list of our topics. If you wanted to Google any of these phrases, you can probably find some extra stuff too. All right. So first we're going to fill in these tables. If we want to classify by the number of terms, we're talking about polynomials. So if we have one term in our polynomial, it's a monomial. If we have two terms, it's a binomial. 3 terms is a trinomial. And 4 and above is going to be a polynomial. We're not going to go past that. Polynomial. Okay, if I'm classifying by degree, if my degree is 0, it's the degree of your variable. So if your variable has an exponent of 0, you won't even see it, right? Because x to the 0 is just 1. So you would call that a constant. If your variable has a 1, you're going to call it linear. 2 is quadratic. 3 is cubic, 3 dimensions, you have a cube, and 4 is quartic. So if you did your quiz already, then you know that you weren't tested on the information about degree, but you were tested on number of terms. Your test will have both of those pieces. All right, so number 1, we are simplifying and classifying the following polynomials by degree and number of terms. So I have to talk about both number of terms and degree. Okay, so 5x. Well, I have one single term, so I know it's a monomial, and I have x to the 1. There's an invisible exponent of 1 there, so it's linear. I'm usually going to say linear monomial in that order, because linear is an adjective, monomial is a noun. Okay, 2x to the 4th minus 4x to the 3rd plus 2x squared plus 9. First of all, I can't simplify that at all. I have 4 terms. 4 terms is a polynomial, and my highest exponent is a 4, so it's going to be quartic, a quartic polynomial. Okay, here I have 3x squared minus 8x plus 5x minus 10. Don't be fooled, there is something that I can do, right? I can combine those. So I'm going to first simplify. So I have 3x squared minus 3x minus 10. Now I can see that I have a quadratic 1, 2, 3 trinomial. Okay, our next little section says that we're going to simplify polynomial expressions. Pay close attention to which operation you are being asked to perform. And by that I mean adding or subtracting or multiplying or dividing. After you get your answer, you're going to write it in standard form. So this is -7 plus 2k minus k squared, all minus this expression, -3k cubed minus 5k plus 2k squared. So what I'm going to do is distribute that negative so that I don't lose a negative anywhere. Okay, I'm going to be subtracting absolutely everything inside those parentheses. So I'm going to bring down my first part, -7 plus 2k minus k squared. And now I have minus -3k cubed, so that's plus 3k cubed. And then I have plus 5k minus 2k squared. So I'm looking for common or like terms. So I can say -7. I'm looking for any other constants. I don't see any. So I'm just going to put -7 as part of my answer. That's done. 2k, I'm going to look for other things that are just k. There you go, 2k and positive 5k, don't lose your signs, right, is going to be 7k. Negative k squared, I'm going to look for other k squareds. negative 2k squared. And I'm including my negative, or my sign rather, inside my box, so I keep track. Negative k squared minus 2k squared is negative 3k squared. Okay, and then I have plus 3k cubed. So I think I've taken care of all of my terms. Now I want to be in the right order, so I'm just going to go in standard order, which is the highest exponent I have. So I have 3k cubed. Don't lose your signs again, right? So 3k cubed minus 3k squared plus 7k minus 7. That's going to be that final answer. All right. 5w times 4w squared minus 2w minus 3w times negative 2w squared plus 4w. I have two things to distribute. So I'm going to distribute my 5w to those parentheses, and I'm going to distribute a negative 3w to everything over here. So 5w times 4w squared is going to be 20w cubed minus 10w squared plus 6w cubed minus 12w squared. And now I'm looking for common terms. W cubed right there. I have 26w cubed. And then I have negative 10w squared and negative 12w squared. So that's negative 22w squared. And that should be it. All right. Next, I have all of this. 2w cubed minus 4w to the fourth minus 3wy plus w squared minus, in parentheses, wy minus w squared. So the first thing I'm going to do is take care of that distribution of the negative sign so that I can get rid of the parentheses. I'll bring everything else down. 2w cubed minus 4w fourth minus 3w y plus w squared minus wy plus w squared, because a negative times a negative is positive. All right, I'm going to say 2w cubed. No other w cubes. I'm going to say negative 4w to the fourth. And then I'm going to say negative 3wy and negative wy. So that's two of those, minus two of those terms, rather. Negative 3 and negative 1 is negative 4wy. And let's do w squared and w squared, so that means we have two of them. Okay, if I want to put this in order, I want to think about those variables. I want the first, the alphabetically first one. So w is before y, and so I'm going to choose w first and then descending order with my w's. So I'm going to say negative 4w to the fourth, that's taken care of, plus 2w to the third, that guy's done, plus 2w squared, I took care of that, and then minus 4wy. Care of that. So that should be my final answer in standard form. Okay, and here I have 3xy times three different terms in parentheses. 3xy times 5x squared. I'm going to have 3 times 5 is 15. X times x squared is x to the third times y. 3xy times 2xy is going to be 6x squared y squared. And 3xy times 3y squared is going to be 9xy to the third. And that should be it. I'll double check that I'm in order. X is first alphabetically, and so I'm going to go with the highest exponent on the x and then come down. So that looks like my answer. Okay. Check out some more problems. All right, same story. So in this case, I have x minus 1 times 3x squared minus 5x plus 8 minus 2x minus 1 all squared. So order of operations is going to tell me that I have to take care of that exponent, right? And I'm also going to multiply x minus 1 times the trinomial there. Okay, so why don't I'll do it one at a time. X minus 1 times 3x squared minus 5x plus 8. I'm just going to do this one step at a time, so I didn't do anything there. I'm going to subtract the result of this. 2x minus 1 all squared is going to be 4x squared, and then I'm going to multiply the first times the last. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2, double it, that's negative 4x, and last is going to be plus 1. Let me pause for a moment. I'm going to put this whole bit in parentheses because I'm subtracting all of that. So if I put my parentheses, it's going to help me remember that I'm subtracting everything that was a result of squaring 2x minus 1. Okay, so I will still have to distribute that negative to each term here. And I'm also going to be multiplying x minus 1 times 3x squared minus 5x plus 8. I prefer a box, so I'm going to go ahead and just do this on the side here. Okay, you can do distributive property also, it's up to you. So I like my x and negative 1, then I have 3x squared, and I have negative 5x, and I have 8. When I multiply, I get 3x cubed minus 5x squared plus 8x. And here I have negative 3x squared, I have positive 5x, and I have negative 8. So you can see that you have your diagonals that kind of match. So when I simplify, so I'm simplifying x minus 1 times 3x squared minus 5x plus 8. I'm going to get 3x cubed minus 8x squared, right? Negative 3x squared and negative 5x squared is negative 8x squared, plus 13x minus 8. Okay, that's what I got when I multiplied this binomial times this trinomial. Now, I'm going to distribute this negative, so I have minus 4x squared plus 4x minus 1. So now I need to combine like terms if I can. There's only one x cubed, so my answer is going to be 3x cubed. And then I have negative 8x squared and negative 4x squared, so that's negative 12x squared. And then 13x and 4x is going to be 17x. And then I have negative 8 and negative 1, so that's negative 9. So that should be my answer, and it is in order of descending exponent. Okay, we've got a lot going on here. So 2y plus 1 all squared. If it helps you to write it out like this, you can. Minus, and I'm going to go ahead and distribute. So I have negative 4y squared plus 2. So I know I did this out of order a little bit. 2y plus 1 times 2y plus 1 is going to be 4y squared plus 2y plus 2y, so that's plus 4y plus 1. When I multiply those out, minus 4y squared plus 2. So 4y and negative 4y, those cancel. 4y squared and negative 4y squared, those cancel. I have 4y and plus 3. So wow, that's my answer. Okay. This xy plus 3 times xy minus 3, I might notice that I will end up with a difference of squares, right? Or I can multiply this by FOIL or by using distributive property, or I could use the box method as well. I'm going to use FOIL, even though I see that it is going to result in a a difference of squares. So xy times xy equals x squared y squared. Outer is negative 3xy, inner is positive 3xy, so those cancel. And last is going to be negative 9. So that's it, that's my answer. Here, 3x minus 5 all squared. If I remember my rules for a perfect squared trinomial, I can go ahead and write the answer, but if I want to write it out just to be sure, I can write it out. 3x times 3x is 9x squared. Outer is negative 15x, and inner is also negative 15x. So we're going to have negative 30x. And then last is negative 5 times negative 5 is positive 25. All right. Okay, so down here I have to remember about dividing. All right, so I have 1, 2, 3 terms in my numerator. So I'm going to divide each of the terms by that denominator. Okay, so 15a cubed b squared divided by 3ab. I can do the numbers. 15 divided by 3 is 5. A cubed divided by a is a squared, and b squared divided by b is b. Now I have negative 9 divided by 3 is negative 3. A squared over a is a. B over b is just 1, so I'm not even going to write anything. And here, 3ab divided by 3ab is just 1. Anything divided by itself is 1. So that should be my answer. Y squared minus 1? Well, 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 what do we know about y squared minus 1? It is a difference of squares. So I know that that equals y plus 1 times y minus 1, right? It's still over y minus 1, but the reason this helps is I can see that anything divided by itself is just 1, so my answer is y plus 1. Right? I am dividing here, so look carefully, I'm dividing. So I'm going to write it like a fraction, because I think that'll help me see what's happening. Okay, I'm dividing by a binomial, so I'm going to go ahead and factor that numerator and see if I can find a factor that is like x plus 4. Okay, so I need two numbers that multiply to give me 28, but they add to give me 11. Those magic numbers are 7 and 4, right? 7 times 4 is 28, 7 plus 4 is 11. So I'm going to rewrite this whole thing as x plus 7 times x plus 4, because that is this trinomial, right? Divided by x plus 4, and when I write it like that, I can see exactly what's going to happen. X plus 4 divided by x plus 4 is just 1, and so my answer is x plus 7. Okay, this trinomial divided by that binomial is x plus 7. All right, this is starting to look like Unit 6, so I know some of you are having the shivers. I'm going to factor out what I can, okay, and then see if any of my factors cancel. So I'm going to say that here I have x times 5x plus 1, I just pulled out the x, times 2 times 2x plus 1, right? My denominator, this is a difference of, I'm going to pull 4, and I have 4x squared minus 1, right? Times x squared. Well, I am not done simplifying because 4x squared minus 1 is a difference of squares, right? So let's say that this is x times 5x plus 1 times 2 times 2x plus 1. It's all over 4, right? And I know the difference of squares is going to be 2x plus 1 times 2x minus 1. Right? Just that part is 4x squared minus 1 times x squared. Okay, so now I want to see what can I cancel out. Well, 2x plus 1 is 2x plus 1. Those cancel, right? 2 goes into 2 one time, and 2 goes into 4 two times. X goes into x one time, and x goes into x squared one time, and it leaves me with just x, right? So, what do I have? Right now, I have 5x plus 1 in my numerator, right? And in my denominator, I have 2 times 2x plus minus 1 times x. Okay? And that's a little bit uncomfortable for me, so I'm going to rewrite it as 5x plus 1 all over, I'm going to put 2x first. 2x times 2x minus 1. Okay, and let's look back at our instructions. What were we supposed to do? We were asked to simplify the polynomial expressions, pay close attention to the operations, and put our answer in standard form. Let's see if I did that. Well, I've simplified it. I don't know that there's any standard form to be thinking about.